Do you think that Steve Nash played just long enough to pass Mark Jackson on the all-time assist list? Let's ask Mark. Mark, did you realize Steve Nash has one more assist than you do career-wise?
Good morning, first of all. That should be first before you start, reminding me of stuff like that. Yes, I was well aware of it and actually contemplating getting in shape and signing a 10-day with somebody and just playing for about, probably a minute and throwing some lookaways and passing Steve Nash. There's a chance.
Did you? How did you feel when you passed Magic Johnson on the all-time assist list?
With all due respect to everybody on the list, to me, Magic Johnson is the greatest point guard to ever play the game. He's the guy that I grew up watching and emulating. So when I passed Magic Johnson, it was an unbelievable feeling. It was, he was the guy as far as the point guard position was concerned, as far as I was concerned. And to pass him was an absolute special moment.
Yeah, it's one of those weird things, though, when you pass your idol in something. And, I didn't know if you felt, part of you, it's like, I'm not worthy to pass Magic Johnson because I consider him the best point guard of all time.
It's a great question and a great statement. I think the difference was if I really believed that I was, let's say if I had Magic's talent or another great player's skill or talent, then I would feel that way. But I thought that way even entering into the league, with lack of quickness, lack of speed, lack of athletic ability or jumping ability, all of those things. So I didn't think, I thought I was an overachiever all along. So to actually pass him really put an even, further stamp on it. I had no business on that list and being ahead of him.
We brought this up yesterday. You got Steph Curry, you got Russell Westbrook, and you got Harden, and they're all about the same age. If you can draft whatever one you want out of those three, who are you taking right now?
Well, that's a loaded question. It's a tough question. I don't think you can go wrong either way. All three guys in MVP conversation. You can't go wrong. I mean, you absolutely can't go wrong. And way to make it tough by not putting LeBron James on that list also.
No, there's no LeBron there, but you didn't pick anybody. You got Steph, you got Westbrook or Harden. You got the first pick. I got the next pick.
How about if I give you the first pick and I'll take the next two?
Well, no, that doesn't work that way. I'll do that.
I'll say this: the way that Russell Westbrook is playing right now is absolutely incredible. What he's doing for that basketball team in the absence of a healthy Kevin Durant, it's awfully impressive, and he's playing not just like the best point guard, but very well could be the best player if you take LeBron out of the equation and what he means to the game and how great of a player he is. Westbrook is playing off the charts.
Okay, but don't you get the feeling that LeBron James, to me, is still the MVP, but he's not going to win it this year because we want to move on to a different and we want to write stories about somebody other than LeBron James.
You're right. I said it, I don't know, maybe a month and a half ago. We take LeBron's greatness for granted because we witness it time and time again. We witness the consistency of who he's been from day one and how he conducts himself, how he plays. He's an incredible all-time great basketball player. I said it before, and I might as well say it again. He's the best small forward to ever play the game. He'll lead this game the all-time leading scorer. In my opinion, he'll lead this game top 5 in assists all time. It's incredible what he's doing, and we constantly take it for granted. And you're right. We want to, fall in love or give somebody else credit the same way we did with Michael. Now, certainly other guys were quality picks as far as MVP is concerned, but we knew who the best player in the world was then, and we absolutely know who the best player in the world is today.
But let's say he ends up all-time leading scorer, top 5 in assists, but he ends up with the titles that he has. He doesn't add any more titles. Can he be recognized? Is he recognized better than Jordan?
It'll be a great question. It will be an absolute great question, and I will say you will not be wrong with what he does on a nightly basis to put his team in position to win games, put him in that discussion, putting him in that class because defensively he's elite. offensively. We say he's not a scorer, but somehow scores 27 a night, which doesn't go hand in hand with not being a scorer.
Well, he's a scorer. He's just not a shooter.
Yeah, but people say he's not a scorer.
No,
and
he's a scorer.
Sense.
He can score anytime he wants.
Well, then Michael wasn't a shooter. I mean,
no, Mike could shoot. Mike had a legitimate jumper. LeBron's is streaky. You know, Mike had a lot better form with his jumper.
Let's put it this way, Dan. Let's agree with this. I hope so.
Yeah.
Because you know shooters.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan or LeBron James, neither one of those guys would be considered shooters.
No, but they were scorers. But if you said we're going to have a shooting contest, who you got, you're going to take Mike over LeBron, right?
Well, are you including the three-point shot?
I just said shots. I mean, it's all shots.
Why are you being so tough with me this morning, man?
That's just the way I play. I'm Wojo. I'm slapping the floor playing defense. Welcome to Cameron Indoor. I mean, you're the one that called Jordan a crappy shooter, not me.
I didn't call. Don't you start that. That'll be the headline.
Sounded
right?
like that. Mark Jackson calls out Jordan, says overrated shooter. Yeah, breaking news here.
Breaking news.
Okay. Did you see where LeBron's upset that his 10-year-old's being recruited?
Yes, I did, and I see other people upset about it too, and I totally agree 100%. I think it's unfair. Again, I think it's hypocritical as far as the NCAA and the people that care about. Let's fast forward. The people that care about guys being eligible out of high school to go into the league, and guys now all of a sudden you want to make it. No one and done. You got to play. Got to be sit out your first year. It makes no sense. It's hypocritical. Leave these little kids, young kids alone. Allow them to develop into young men. And it's just embarrassing how far we're taking it. And if we're gonna do that, then let them come out of high school, which I said all along. Let these guys come into the league out of high school. We're going to protect them. We'll protect the 10-year-old kid also.
Well, but it's like a child actor. We love it when a child gets a chance to be in a big movie or a Broadway show. I mean, what's the difference between a 10-year-old in a movie or a 10-year-old being recruited by college coaches here? I mean, aren't they both wrong?
I agree with you. I'm glad you said that. But guess what? That 10-year-old kid can make money. That 10-year-old kid is not forced to go to college when he becomes a senior in high school.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to be consistent across the board. Let's be consistent. If you're going to recruit 10-year-old kids, then let's allow them to, out of high school, enter into the NBA.
I have no
That's
problem with
saying.
that. My thing is, out of high school, you want to go into the NBA, great. If you go to college, you stay 2 years.
Why? You're not telling that kid as a 10-year-old actor if he wants to be in a movie, okay, then when you become a senior in high school, if you go to college, you got to stay 2 years. We're not forcing that on them.
Yeah, but this is a league. There's no league there that's governing. The Screen Actors Guild is not protecting these kids, or saying you got to, you got to make sure you graduate from high school or whatever it might be. If you go to college, you should stay 2 years.
And what are you gaining by forcing them to stay 2 years? Who are you protecting?
Them.
What? LeBron James doesn't need protection.
He could have, and he came out of high school. Kobe came out of high school. Garnett came out of high school. I'm fine with that. If you're good enough, then go. But if you decide to go to college, let's don't make a mockery of college, because they've made a mockery of college. It's embarrassing now. These kids go 6 months, and that's it.
Well, we can agree to disagree, because I don't think it's right. I don't think that looking at Kentucky right now and what they're doing, I don't think it's a mockery. I think that, John Calipari is coaching, outstanding, great basketball team.
I agree.
Anybody. I think that's fascinating.
They're a great team. But I think that if you look at the league gets younger. You're taking away jobs from guys, veterans in there. When you draft these kids, they're not ready to play right now. And what's wrong with getting 2 years of an education? And maybe you gear the education to an actual business principle. That you're going to help these kids be businessmen when they get to the NBA. If that's what they want to do, you almost major in being an NBA player. But at least you get some guidance with financial guidance, with real estate, with tax, like important things, everyday life. Instead of going to the NBA, you had teammates who were lost when they were young and shouldn't have been there, Mark.
And guess what? If you give the rule that you're giving right now, that you are putting on the table for somebody to take, you're still going to have teammates that's not prepared. It's still going to work out that way. And I probably would lean towards, okay, let's go along with your theory, because it will put me in position to get one more assist to pass Steve Nash.
Mark Jackson has 10,334 assists, but Steve Nash has 10,335. Man, that's got to hurt. That's got to hurt.
Yeah. Stop. Can we move on a little bit?
All right.
Rondo.
Yeah. What?
I just got. My wife has a new song on iTunes called "Love." It's under Kadesh, Kadesh, and it's $1 for the single, and every dollar minus the writers' fees will go towards foster home and homeless people. So I would ask the people to please go on iTunes, Kadesh, and the song is called "Love."
Nice. I'll try to make this segue to Rondo in Dallas. Where is the love?
Yeah.
Where is the love?
I wanted to test to see how good you was, as far as segues are concerned.
Rondo and Rick Carlisle. I know it's a moment, and everybody has their moments, but Rondo's got a history here.
Well, I tell you what, Rondo does have a history. In fairness, so does Rick Carlisle, who's a great coach and one of the best in the business. I don't think it's ever fair for a player to cuss out a coach or be disrespectful, and I don't think it's ever fair for a coach to cuss out a player and be disrespectful. I think there's enough blame for both of those guys. They need each other, and it's important for them to be on the same page. I didn't think it was right from what we've been told. Now, we don't know if it happened 10 times or if it happened behind the scenes, but from what we saw that night, I don't think it was fair to suspend Rajon Rondo, especially coming out of it in the post-game.
Well, did he apologize?
Did who apologize?
Rondo.
I don't know.
I mean, if you apologize, then I'll give you the benefit of the doubt that in the moment, and, it hasn't happened before, I got the feeling.
You're not being fair, though, Dan, but you're not being fair. Did Rick Carlisle apologize?
Rondo yelled at him.
No. They yelled at each other.
No,
they were going back and forth.
Rondo cursed him out, and then Carlisle returned fire there. Now, they're both wrong, but Rondo, as the player.
Watching that video, both guys were going at each other. Rick Carlisle adamantly was trying to get a timeout.
Did any player ever do that to you?
No, I never had it. No, that would never be an issue with me. Because guess what? And I'm just saying, I'm not doing it to them. So coming in, I'm letting them know, look, we're going to respect each other as men. Rondo is a father. He's a husband. He's a grown man. I can talk to him. And I would demand that he does the same thing to me. So it's not a one-way thing.
He had problems with Doc Rivers, too.
Yeah, well, and to some degree, there's different styles of coaching. And I'm not sitting there telling you my style is the only way. I'm telling you it works for me. Rondo would find a different way to talk to me or to let his feelings be known in a respectful manner, and I would do the same thing to him.
I
used to think, how could a coach? I played on teams where coaches would cuss you out and tell you off, and I'm like, man, I've seen a guy get suspended from a coach that cussed him out, disrespected him, and the guy talked back to the coach, and they suspended him. I'm sitting there as a player like, this is an absolute joke. This is not fair.
Give me that website one more time for your wife.
It's on iTunes, and the name is Kadesh, Kadesh, and the song is called Love. It costs 99 cents, and every penny will go towards foster care and homeless.
Great. When's your next game?
I'm actually calling a game in Portland tomorrow night, and then Sunday in Chicago. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, it would have been nice to have Derrick Rose there.
Yeah, that's tough. Just playing for Derrick Rose. He's a guy that loves the game of basketball, and just hopefully this is a minor setback that the Chicago Bulls certainly need him if they're looking to contend to win this whole thing. But certainly praying for him because it's a tough setback.
Can you give me a shout out during the game tomorrow night? Just something about great shooters or broadcasters or something. Whatever. I was talking to Dan Patrick about this the other day. Something like that.
Sort of like what you do on when you're doing the NFL. I never got a shout out, even though
you didn't ask one.
I didn't. We go way back.
But I asked for one.
I look forward to it. That may just happen. That may just happen.
Reggie would do it.
No, don't do that. I got two dogs. Don't
No!
do that. I'm not scared. I'm not afraid.
You don't have dogs when you're not afraid. Do you understand that? You have dogs, you're afraid.
No, I totally understand, but I'm
Oh,
on the
man.
next level not being afraid, so I carry the two dogs just to let you know.
Oh.
I got you tomorrow night, Dan Patrick, the shooter that I beat in a shootout when I played with the Pacers. Yes, I got you.
Just remember, I'm Steve Nash of radio.
Oh, my goodness. You're two ahead of me? Is that what you're trying to say?
Just one ahead of you. Thanks, Mark.
Thanks again, man. Good talking to you.
All right, Mark Jackson, ABC, ESPN.